Falsely thoughts, race, life's a twisted place. No time to erase. I just keep the
Next person, No. How's it going, No? What is your actual name, age, and did you disagree with what I had on the board?
Yeah, my name is James. I'm 19.
How you doing, James? All right. And did you disagree with what I had on the board?
Yeah. So, how exactly would you want reparations for Black Americans again?
Reparations for African Americans could come in both cash and reforming institutions that we have, such as education and the criminal justice system.
So y'all want cash. So y'all just want cash by the government just because y'all black.
No, it was. It's not just because that's because of being black. It's also it's because of, excuse me, it's because of not just slavery but redlining, black codes, Jim Crow, those things. Those things are the ones that economically and politically push black people behind. Essentially, like for example, do you know what the average wealth of a black family is compared to a white family?
I wouldn't know.
Right. Okay. So the average white family has about $125,000 in wealth, and it might go higher. And the average black family has about $5,000 worth of wealth. Do you know how that happened?
Probably both the man and woman work.
No, it happened because of redlining. Most the man and the woman were working during Jim Crow. Did black people have the same opportunities during Jim Crow as white people?
During that, no.
Right. Okay. So after that, do you think it happened after that?
Yeah.
It didn't. It didn't. So because of that, do you think, and not only that, not only did it not, but the government was complicit in making sure that didn't happen. So because of those things, do you think that maybe our government should be involved in repairing what they broke?
No, because it's 2026.
That doesn't make any sense. You're saying that because the government did something wrong, they shouldn't fix it?
I mean, I feel like it's already fixed when they took out Jim Crow.
It's not. I just told you it's not.
So, I feel like if you want to get out and get it, you can, just like anybody else in this world.
That doesn't really answer my question. The government was involved in damaging the African American community, and we see the damage up to this day.
Oh,
so why shouldn't they be involved in repairing it?
Well, it sounds like the Democrats should help y'all out a little bit and do their job in the.
It's not about the Democrats or the Republicans, my friend. It's not about them. It's about the government as a whole. Both Democrats and Republicans were involved in damaging the African American community.
Yeah, like Joe Biden with Jim Crow. Yeah, you know about that.
Joe Biden didn't create Jim Crow, my friend.
No, he didn't create it, but he stood with it.
Yeah, he did. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say he didn't, but this is not about Democrats or Republicans.
Yeah, so like I don't think our tax dollars should be going. I mean, even if African Americans were given cash, what are they going to do with the money to better themselves?
What they already do. Do you know how black people spend their money?
So like just on bills and stuff. But I mean, what? So just basically a stimulus check to black people.
Basically, a stimulus check to black people. I'm not sure if you know what you're talking about, my friend. You think this gonna be like a stimulus check? Like, people are just gonna get the money and just like flaunt it or something like that, or just do whatever? Like they're gonna invest.
Just spend it. I mean, I'm not saying they're not going to spend it where it needs to be spent, but it depends also. How much money are you talking?
It could be $100,000 to each African American family.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
Hey, James. There are 48 million black individuals in the United States. Hold on. Listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying. There are 48 million black individuals in the United States. Out of that 48 million, an estimated about 33 to 35 million are descendants of chattel slavery in the United States, right? Like people like myself who are immigrant born, like my parents are from Haiti. We came here afterwards, right? So it goes from 48 million to about 35 to 37 million who are all descendants of chattel slavery, all descendants of Jim Crow, redlining, et cetera, about 35 million. Out of that, those are individuals. But what about families? Out of that 35 million, you're going to go down to about 14 to about 20 million families. What's 100,000 times about times that 20 million. 100,000 times that 20 million is about $1 trillion.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's what we spent on our military, though.
Yeah, but okay, but think about it this way. So when the government does that, you don't think the next generation of Black African Americans are gonna be asking for money too? Come on, we just got born.
Why would that? They already got reparations. Did the Japanese Did the Japanese ask for more reparations after they got theirs?
What reparations did the Japanese get?
In the 80s, the Japanese got the reparations for what happened to them during World War II. So if we could give the Japanese reparations for the wrong that we did, if we could give the Japanese reparations for the wrong that we did to them, why can't we make it true for why can't we make it right for African Americans? Give me a good reason.
So let me ask you a question on that, because I obviously don't know what you're talking about. So what, these were Asian citizens, American citizens? Were these Japanese? These were so every Asian in America.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
What were you saying?
This is telling me that you're actually not listening to me to actually have a discussion, but just respond. I didn't say Asians. I said Japanese.
So every Japanese in America got reparations.
The Japanese who were descendants of the people who were in the internment camps, yes, they got reparations.
Oh, so we're not talking about on the same platforms of $1 trillion. We're talking about like only
the Japanese reparations cost at least $500 to $700 billion.
Who the fuck? Who the fuck let that?
Reagan.
That's crazy.
I know, and you're not taught that history. This is the problem. So if we can make it right with the Japanese who were descendants of the internment camps, why can't we make it right for African Americans who were descendants of chattel slavery, Jim Crow, and redlining? What would be the good reason?
You know what? I just feel like you weren't born with that happening to you. You know, your dad wasn't born with that happening to him.
There were Japanese people who were born that didn't happen to them either.
What's the excuse now? With that. Hey, I don't have to agree with that.
It's fine that you don't agree with it, but the fact of the matter is that we did it and we made it right, and there was a reason why we made it right. So why can't we make it right for African Americans? This is a question I'm still asking.
That's a question for Ronald Reagan.
Right. All right. So what I'm asking you is, if the United States government was complicit in damaging the African American community, why should they not fix it? Why shouldn't the government fix what they broke?
Why should the government have to fix what they broke?
Why should not the government fix what they broke?
Oh, because you know what? I feel like shit was already made up.
It wasn't.
Yeah, because look, y'all got now all the Africans that came from Africa now have the right to live in America.
That's not reparations for African Americans.
Hell yeah, y'all gotta live in a first world country.
That's not reparations for African Americans.
Yeah, y'all got a privilege just being here.
Hold on,
James.
Hi,
Chelsea. Yeah, hey, how you doing, Chelsea? I'm James.
Happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month.
Shout out to the father of Black History Month, Carter G. Woodson.
Happy Black History Month. Shout out to Carter G. Wilson. I'm gonna get you in a second. James, hold on. Chelsea, I'm gonna get you in a second because I know you want to get in on this.
I mean, I'm a Black American. I didn't immigrate anywhere, so
yeah, exactly.
Me as well.
Hell yeah, America.
So
here's my question though, respectfully.
Wait, hold on. Who's that talking? Is that you, Life?
Yes, sir.
Life, I got you. Just give me 1 second. All right, everybody, just give me 1 second. All right, so James.
Yes, sir. My bad.
All good. All right, so James, I really need you to actually engage with this conversation and answer this question.
Right.
Africans having the right to come to the United States, my parents from the Caribbean having the opportunity to come to the United States, that's not reparations for African Americans themselves. So saying that, oh, y'all had a right to be here, that's silly. That's stupid. We're talking about African. We're talking about the African American community, who are about 35 to 40 million. Them. We're talking about them. Their reparations. They're making them right, making their society right. The government and private companies like Chase, like Wells Fargo, they were the ones who damaged that community. Why should they not fix it?
I know. I mean, I could really, but here's the thing. Like, I'm trying to answer your question, but I want you to understand too. You don't see me asking for my reparations from every country that's, you know, my ancestors were from.
My nigga, that's on you. That's on you, bro. Please answer the question. Why should the government, who damaged the African American community through policies like redlining, like Jim Crow, etc., why shouldn't companies like Chase, like Citibank, like like a Wells Fargo, who had higher interest loans on African Americans, refused to insure their businesses, who sent Gestapo in order to damage their businesses, who put red painting in their lead painting in their homes, environmental racism, etc. They damaged the African community heavily. Why should they not fix it?
I think that's an excuse.
Okay, I'm gonna say
Jesus
one
Christ.
thing. Can
Go
I
ahead,
say
Chelsea.
one
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
Bossy?
Yeah, go ahead,
As a
Chelsea.
Black
Jesus Christ.
American who is a descendant of chattel slavery, our ancestors aren't immigrants. We didn't migrate anywhere. We were trafficked in the 1500s in St. Augustine, Florida, Mississippi. These areas we were trafficked and kidnapped here. Our children were used as gator bait. We were separated from our family. We were forced to learn different languages. There's something that they don't teach you in school at all. You have to go pursue higher education or pursue certain books. Or if you have a niche, if it's your niche subject, they had breeding farms where they would take a Black girl once she was able to menstruate to these breeding farms to produce more Black people. As well as when you keep talking about people migrated here, Black Americans fought for the Immigration Act of 1965 because they had such a restricted limit on people that were, perceived as Black or darker skinned people coming to the U.S. They fought for that because a lot of them were Pan-Africanists, but you can't say these things that, oh, they got our reparations with that. No, that's another right that we fought for. James Meredith fought for the right for Black Americans to be in colleges, integrated colleges. He's still alive. He's in Mississippi. Ruby Bridges is still alive, looking good, mind you, in Louisiana, fought for the right for Black children to be integrated in school. And she shouldn't even have that burden. Like, she was a child herself. Like, they pretty much lunged her in something that was so detrimental to her mental health, to her physical health. But now today we see that Black children can go to these integrated schools because what they were doing, they were taking the funding from these Black cities, Black towns, and not not giving that funding back. They were using it to elevate their homes. And when Black towns and Black cities were more elevated over white homes and white cities, they burned those cities to the ground. There's people who they can't even really trace their lineage back because those are cities that were burned down. We have Seneca Village that was in Central Park, New York. That's no longer there. We have a place called Quakertown in Denton, Texas. They got rid of Quakertown. It was full of Black American lawyers and Black American doctors. But since they built Texas Women's University, it was an all-white girls' school. They didn't want any Black people to be near them. So they bulldozed that town. You have Oscarville in Georgia, they call it the Lake Lanier. Mm-hmm. They drowned those people out. You have Rosewood. There's so many people, Black American people with so many admixtures because of sexual assault, because of so many things. People have trauma in certain diseases in their epigenetic settings because of this thing. It's been passed on through generation. So as a Black American woman, proudly Black American,
I know what
ancestry dating back to the 1500s. My folks from Mississippi, Louisiana.
So
I just left Cyprus, Louisiana. Yes, we deserve those reparations because the country that you enjoy was built through slave labor, was built through those things. Even as far as I'll say 1980s, we had redlining. I hope redlining is not still a thing, but we had redlining. People were in predatory loans. They couldn't go further. They was really stifled. Their whole life was stifled because of this thing called racism. The only reason why we have exuberant college tuition is because of racism, credit scores, racism. So you trying to say, oh, we can't do this, we can't do that because you have a scarcity lack mindset. You think if Black Americans were rewarded something or allotted something, it takes away from you. No, it does not. These things have to be rectified. These things have to it has to be rectified or the cycle's going to continue. There's going to be more mess. You're going to complain more. Things are going to happen to you. It's going to it's affecting you now. You probably can't pay your mortgage. If you got a mortgage, you probably, damn, this rent going high. Like it goes up. Minimum wage been that way for 30 something years because of the powers that be do not want to even acknowledge Black Americans or even rectify all the wrong and the harm that was done. Think of having your 14-year-old sister or
Chelsea?
anybody. Go ahead, Darcy, because I'll talk about this forever. He was irritating me.
No,
I do apologize.
No, it's all good and well. I love it. You were killing it. I just gotta have him respond because we're almost out of time with him. But James, do you understand everything that that was said to you, right? Because what I'm trying to get to the point is everything in this country was built off racism, even the way that traffic works. You see what I'm saying? So, and those negatively affected African Americans the most. So what we're trying to get you to understand, or a question that I still need you to answer, or you should ask yourself, is if the system was built to be against African Americans and make them poor and everything else that Chelsea has said, why shouldn't that not be fixed? Because it hasn't yet.
I got a question.
It simply hasn't yet.
Do I get more time? Because
yeah, we can give you a little bit more time. I'm gonna give you a few more minutes. Okay, over on my call line, Julius, I do see you on the call line, Julius. I'm gonna get to you in a few minutes. All right, Julius, just give me a few moments. There were, I think, was one more person in front of you, and then I'll get to you on the call line. For everybody who's on my TikTok, the call line cannot hear you. Unfortunately, I still haven't fixed that yet. I'm gonna fix that soon, y'all. I promise I'll fix that soon. But over my TikTok, the call line will not be able to hear y'all, at least the guests. But everyone else, you'll be able to hear. Okay, so James, what was your question?
So, for example, right? Why would someone of African American descent, or not African American descent, sorry, African descent in America, why would someone like them disagree with reparations?
Someone like them will disagree with reparations if they don't know the history of the country, or if they've been given a history of the country that's not pretty towards African Americans, or they've simply just been brainwashed by basically conservative bootstrap thinking. You know what I mean? Thinking that, oh, we made it over here and we're all good, but they don't know the context of everything that happened to African Americans and how this country was set against them. That happens.
My girlfriend's mixed, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's got Nigerian, Benin and Togo, all that stuff.
And she disagrees. Yeah, I get it. I get it. But
she's not. But listen, she's not like me. Like she's very much more left than I'm not left, but she's definitely like middle to left, I would say, with some of her thinking.
Okay.
Most of it. So I don't know. She just said no. I asked her one day straight up. I said, "Do you agree with this?" And she just said, "No, it's stupid." So I mean, I know that's not okay, whatever. But
I mean, she can disagree all she wants, but I'm not talking to her. Yeah, I mean, I'm talking to you. I would have to speak. I'll speak with her to see what her reasoning is. But as far as talking to you goes, I think you should ask yourself that question: why do you disagree that if a government in a society damages a community, they shouldn't fix it? Like, what? That sounds silly. That sounds kind of crazy.
I get what you're saying, but also I feel like you didn't personally feel the same way your ancestors did. You didn't physically feel it. You didn't mentally feel it. So why should you be getting paid for something your ancestor had to go through that you didn't have to go through?
Because it still affects us today. Like as a Black American, and I keep saying that I didn't benefit from any sort of immigration. It still affects us today. You just heard Bossy talks about how trafficking works. You heard me talk about redlining. You heard me talk about people with different illnesses in their epigenetic settings, fear. And I'm gonna get off here, Bossy, but also Black people are not even a monolith, sir. Like, no shade to your girlfriend, but I don't know how old she is. I don't know her heritage. I don't know what she's been taught. Black people are not a monolith. Once upon a time, a lot of Black people in the South didn't even want Martin Luther King to come to the South to help
Democrats.
So it's just like we're not a monolith, but these things still affect us today.
I feel like okay, this is how I feel. If y'all want reparations, I feel like it should come out of all the Democrats that own slaves' pockets, because it was them.
Can I say something, please?
It was them.
Yeah,
KKK.
As a matter of fact, yeah, Trell, I've had you up here for a while. I apologize. What did you want to say?
Hold on.
No problem. So it's really two things I want to say. So the first thing I want to say is every major established country or superpower in the world has had a reparation system for people they've wronged. Even like after slavery, they looked at slave owners as losing property and gave slave owners reparations for losing slaves. The Jews, they got reparations. Like every major group of people that's been systematically wronged throughout history, when we talk about like major modern establishments have been given reparations. And I feel like for whatever reason, when it comes to like Black African Americans, we're the only group where it's like this cognitive dissonance or this disconnect, where it's like we're the group of people that are forced to like have to pick up the pieces and start from scratch. And even then, like from like 1968 is like when like a lot of like the civil rights laws started to get passed. Like we've only been even recognized as like regular citizens for just a couple generations now, like even after like chattel slavery. And then for us, like the argument of like, oh my God, you didn't have to directly go through something, or your parents or great great grandparents or whatever. James, is that your name?
Yeah, that's his name on the bottom, James.
If your grandpa owned a farm and he passed away, does the bank get the farm? Or would you want that farm passed down to you?
Of course, you'd want the farm passed down here.
Why? Did you work for that farm? Did you feed the cattle on that farm?
I mean, I get what
Can I
you're
say
trying to
something?
make.
Wait, who was that?
That's Andrew.
Andrew. Okay, Andrew, I'm gonna get you to you in a second. We're almost done. And over on the call line, Julius, I do see you, and Garrett, I see you as well. All right, I'm gonna get you guys in a second. And then but I just gotta talk to Life, because Life had a quick question. But we're gonna go ahead and get to finish this off with James. But Trell, definitely appreciate you. Chelsea, definitely appreciate you. So James, what I want you to do, yeah, that was very well stated, Trell. I appreciate you being up here. Very well stated, Trell. So James, what I need you to do is I need you to go ahead and think about these questions that we're asking, and to your girlfriend, tell her to call in tomorrow. You know what I mean? Go ahead and you can follow me and say, hey, these people were talking about reparations and you disagreed, and they want to talk to you, and call in tomorrow and we could talk to her. All right. But I do got to move on to you for now. Just for now, we got to move on. But I appreciate you being here, James. All right. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
All right. Andrew.